Hi, I'm Steve, the Introverted Traveler. I've made it my mission in life to explore the beaches, deserts, mountains, and even cityscapes around us, and to do so while avoiding contact with as many people as possible. And although I will never hang out with you for any reason, I do invite you to join me on my journey. Come and see the world through the eyes of an extreme introvert. On this adventure, we are exploring the region around Coldwater Lake in the Mount St. Helens National Volcanic Monument near Toutle, Washington. Along the way, we will see surprise waterfalls, dig our way through overgrown trails, take in breathtaking views, and say hello to the most active volcano in the Cascade Range. All this and much more on this Introverted Travels. Greetings, and I'm back yet again on yet another adventure. And today I was going to make this really cool introduction section. I was going to talk about how my introduction sections have gotten way too long and how I ramble on and on and on and how I'll ramble about rambling. And I was going to just stick to a formula. I was going to try to make it brief. I was going to try to make it concise, and I was going to try to make it hilarious. But guess what happened? Just one guess. People. I've literally tried to film this thing like 90 times, so forget it. You're not going to get this wonderful, hilarious introduction section. You're going to get me rambling, bambling, and stumbling and slurring my words like a freaking maniac because I got to make this as quickly as I can because somewhere behind me or in front of me or possibly to the side, or I'm in a lake, they could literally come out of the water. But there are people. I mean, they're literally crawling all over this place because, of course, I am in the wonderful, beautiful Mount St. Helens Volcanic National Monument, and I'm making my way around Coldwater Lake. Now, according to the only thing worse than the existence of humanity, and that would be all trails, this is around an 11.5-mile hike because I'm literally doing this big loop. But as we all know, all trails is absolutely never accurate. It could be 11.5. I mean, probability-wise and statistically, there is a possibility. It could be even less. I might be okay saying that all trails might deliver a hike that's actually under its mileage estimate, but it may also be a lot more. And why would all trails be so off in its estimate? Well, that's pretty easy to answer because today's video is brought to you by the letter S, and that's S for all trails sucks. But you don't need me to tell you that all trail sucks. We all know that all trail sucks. I mean, here in America, we are educated starting in preschool to understand that all trail sucks. So of course all trail sucks because, well, all trail sucks. No, you want to know about the thing that I'm already started ranting, raving, and panicking about, and that's the number of people that are out. Well, let me just draw an 8 on the blackboard and then tilt it sideways to make the infinity sign. Because they're everywhere. I mean, I've only been here for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and I've already literally encountered 1 gazillion human beings. Now, mind you, they aren't all hiking this particular trail because I'm going like all the way around the lake, but they're by the lake, they're near the lake, they're on the road. I'm in Mount St. Helens National Volcanic Monument, and well, you can't see it because at the moment I'm hiding in the bushes and some trees, but there's a volcano like right over there. And as we all know, volcanoes are human magnets. There are people literally everywhere. I'm pretty sure that they're crawling out of the volcano at this point. That's how many people there are. I would go on and on about the trailhead and how many cars, and I do the introverted math, which is the number of cars times the potential of people per car. I don't need to. I'm already on introvert red alert, and the answer is there's too many damn people. So I actually think I've covered it all. I've already told you where I am. I told you what I'm doing. I've already gone into paranoid delusions about the number of people that are out here, and I got to work in the fact that all trail sucks. So I don't think I really need to say much else, other than there's probably people coming that way and this way. So I think it'd be best if we just get going. So I have talked about how paranoid and ridiculous the All Trails comment section on each trail is. And how the people who comment on these trails are always paranoid. They're saying there's cougars everywhere. They're saying that a pebble in the trail is like a boulder and that you trip on it, you're gonna die. They're saying that there's Ebola or E. coli or you know, rabid monkeys flying around. There's always some sort of weird, bizarre, ridiculous thing in the comment section of All Trails. So for this one, because we're here at beautiful Coldwater Lake, there's more lake in that direction, and there's a beautiful bush. Look at that majestic bush right in front of me. But we're here at Coldwater Lake, and I checked, of course, the comment section, both just for my own information and for my own entertainment, because some of that stuff is just bizarro. And I didn't see, people were like, yeah, well, this is a long hike. There's some strenuous parts. I guess at some point we're going to be going uphill. Right now I'm just on the flat, kind of boring parts. But yeah, I guess there's some uphills. I guess there's some adventure. So I didn't get any feeling from the All Trail reviews that this was going to be dangerous or difficult or, you know, anything beyond just a hard hike. Well, apparently the signs that they post at Mount St. Helens trailheads around here, they looked at All Trails and said, hold my beer, because there's a picture, there's a cartoon drawing of a guy who's like really scared. I mean, it's basically me with hair, really scared, terrified of going on the trail, and there's a warning that says, these trails are frightening, do not hike. If you're afraid of heights, do not hike. It's strenuous. It's dangerous. So basically, the warning sign is telling me that I'm going to die. It's showing a little cartoon guy. He's so terrified. He's literally going to fall. He's going to drown in the lake. I don't know who to believe. I don't know if I should believe All Trails, which has a very long history of telling tall tales, although usually in the direction of things are dangerous and horrible, not in the direction of, oh, you'll be fine. Or should I pay attention to, I mean, these signs at the trailhead were laminated and they had clip art. I don't know if I can ignore something that has generic clip art. Basically what I'm saying is, if I continue on this trail today and we go into this rugged region and we might have to go up a trail and up steep mountains, the clip art at the trailhead is telling me that I could very well, this could be my last trail. This could be my last hike. You could be watching my death video. Seriously, it might finally get you to actually watch my videos, but that's if the clip art is to be believed. Now, I don't know who to believe. I don't know if I should believe the cartoon clowns on the All Trails reviews or the generic Apple Macintosh 1985 clip art at the trailhead. Either way, I could be screwed. So I think the best practice is just for me to forge ahead, you know. Cross my fingers, find the lucky charm that may or may not be in my pocket, pray to whatever deity might be awake at the moment, and hope for the best, because I'm not getting valid information from either source. I mean, it's either the paranoid clip art or the paranoid idiots on All Trails. One way or the other. One says it's okay, the other says we're gonna die. So it's a coin flip. Here's a little bit of a surprise. I didn't know this was here until I just looked on the map as I was hiking, but All Trails claims that that's a waterfall, and I guess it is. I guess it's a little bit of a cascading waterfall. I mean, it's better looking than that Chocolate Falls we encountered a few videos back, so there you go. I mean, I didn't expect much out of this hike because it's literally just hiking around the lake, but apparently the Volcanic National Monument has other things in mind, and it's giving us a nice, beautiful, moderately sized cascading waterfall. I mean, it's not one of those beautiful like gorge waterfalls that we've seen where it's like sheets and it's like and roaring. No. You're not gonna find that out here. I mean, come on, we're next to a lake. You got to take what you can get. But as far as discount waterfalls go, this isn't bad. I mean, this is beautiful. Now, later in the season, it might literally be Chocolate Falls. It might just be a bit of a trickle. But at the moment, we have a flowing, relatively strong looking cascade waterfall. Now, here comes the stupid part, because I have no idea. It literally just says waterfall on the map, and so that probably means that this doesn't have an actual name, but All Trails sucks at labeling everything. Well, All Trails, we'll just leave it at that. We all know that All Trails sucks, so All Trails sucks. But I'm just gonna say that there's too many damn people on this trail, and I need to make this video as fast as I can because I've seen a bunch more people, and there's probably more people coming. Falls. Now, I'm not gonna repeat that back because literally I'm 46 and I've already forgotten what I just said, but yeah. Whatever I just said falls. There you go. That's the shortcut. Whatever I just said falls. Right there. Horror of horrors. You know that really lame joke that I'm always using because I can't think of anything new while I'm standing here on the side of a freaking hiking trail, that there's people in the bushes and they're gonna pop out of the bushes and they're gonna come here and there, and there's people everywhere. It turns out that's not a joke. I went down a little bit of side trail. All Trails had a little tiny side trail that would lead you down to the lake, to this beautiful beach on the lake so you could look at the water, and I was gonna film the landscape. I was gonna do all that, and I had to go through a bunch of shrubbery. You know, there's a trail, but I had to go through a bunch of trees and bushes and all that to get there. And I pop out on the other side, and guess what I see? There was a hidden cache of people, and there was more than one. There were a bunch of people just on that beach out there, just literally 100 feet from the trail, from the beautiful solitude that I was enjoying. Right on the other side was the nightmare. Oh, so yeah, it's not just a paranoid delusion. I mean, I'm sure there is paranoid delusion mixed in there because this is me we're talking about, but no, there really are people everywhere out here. They're in the bushes. Well, they're on the beach on the other side of the bushes, but the same deal. I mean, we're not gonna nitpick here. There's people in the bushes, and pretty soon, I'm just gonna predict it now. People falling from the sky, and watch, there's going to be like a skydiving plane that gets off course, and like 5 people are going to jump out, and they're literally going to land like right in front of me, and that's going to come true too. But I mean, that's fiction, at least for now. Let's cross our fingers that doesn't happen. But back in that direction, the bushes are alive. So far, this trail has actually been pretty cool. I seriously thought it was just going to be some lame trail that goes around a lake. I mean, it technically is a lame trail going around a lake. But look at this. There's like little tree things in the way. There's flowers everywhere. There's green. I'm hearing rushing water in the distance. We already saw one waterfall. And unfortunately, we saw a bush full of people. But, you know, I think the good in this case outweighs the bad. So far, it's been gorgeous. It's been beautiful. And I'm starting to go uphill. So I get to pant and huff and puff and slowly work my way up to the top of the hill while my knees are working their way slowly to the bone and slowly to death and destruction. So far, this has actually been a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be a lame lake next to a cool volcano. No, it's a cool lake next to a cool volcano. And I'm about to go uphill. You can see some gorgeous geology, but unfortunately I'm in the Well, I'm in the jungle at the moment, and with my luck, there's people over there, there's people over there, there's people up there, there's people up there, there's people down there somewhere. There's probably people everywhere out here, but I'm not going to linger very long, because the longer you linger, the more likely you increase your chances of getting, you know, a hello and a good morning. But I'm going to avoid that nightmare, and I'm going to go deeper and deeper into the jungle. I hear something rushing in the distance, so I'm assuming stream or river or, you know, interdimensional portal or something. But yeah, so far this is really cool. Look how beautiful it is out here. If it wasn't for all the damn human beings. Well, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to see much here on the GoPro, but right over there is a waterfall. It's like a really cool waterfall, actually, but the trail that I'm on is right over there, actually. And there's a trail that goes this way, but neither of the trails actually go anywhere near the waterfall. So really what that's saying is that this hike is so cool that it's too cool for even the magnificent waterfall. They're like, oh no, we've got enough beauty. We don't need you. But yeah, there's this huge waterfall just over there in the bushes. Which is how you know you're in the Pacific Northwest, because we got so many waterfalls, we don't know what to do with them. Like, oh, that one over there, that's just in the bushes. We'll just leave that one be. In the meantime, it's one of the prettier ones out here. I mean, compare that to Chocolate Falls and the other Mount St. Helens video that I made. Even compared to the one that I saw earlier on this trail. I mean, that thing is huge, look at that. Okay, you're on a GoPro, so you might not be able to see much, but take my word for it. That waterfall is pretty. So, just for the record, and again, this is a GoPro, you probably can't see it, but I'll describe it to you. And you know that absolutely everything I say is 100% true, real, and authentic. Even the stuff that I completely pull out of my ass and make up. Up there, see the tops of the mountain up there? You see all these dead just sticks. They're all over the place up there. There's just these broken tree logs up there. Well, those are more than likely the trees that existed when Mount St. Helens went and the trees went and their needles went everywhere and they fried and all that. That up there is 40-year-old destruction from an exploding volcano. And to me, that's really, really cool. I mean, yeah, we can talk about waterfalls and all that type of stuff, but we're literally still seeing 40 years later. I mean, it was the 1980s and Reagan was in office, so there was a lot of devastation and horror going on, but we're seeing the results of natural horror and devastation up there on the top of that. And it's a pretty cool geology too. I mean, geology is awesome just all on its own. So it's cool geology peppered with death and destruction and darkness. Just when I thought I'd seen everything on this trail, the trail disappears. Apparently, I have now entered Jurassic Park. I mean, I know where the trail is. It's like I'm standing on it, so I know where it is. But yeah, this is wonderful. I mean, I read in the All Trails comment that there were a couple of patches here and there that had overgrown the trail, but I didn't realize I was going to be playing Jungle Book today. I'm just waiting for anacondas to swing from the trees and tigers to jump out of it. And of course, I say that, and the next thing I know, someone's going to actually put that on the All Trails comments. Yeah, I heard there was an anaconda out there and a tiger. There's tropical animals out there. That's how dangerous it's like. It's All Trails. It really does get that stupid. You think I'm exaggerating? Okay, so you're not going to be able to see any of this on the GoPro, but part of being in the thick of the jungle is dealing with the bugs, and they're out in force. Again, you're not going to be probably not going to be able to see them, but they're flying around, little mosquitoes, and they've been eating me alive for like a mile now. Now, I have stuff for that. I have off spray, so I can just spray myself down and go on my merry way. But I'm a hiker, and I'm going up an incline. I don't want to stop. So for like the last half an hour, I've just been bug food. And even with the bug spray. So I finally stopped and I put the bug spray on. Finally did something intelligent for a change. Yeah, it helped for a little bit, but there are still a few suicidal mosquitoes that are like, it's worth it. And going for it. But me being me, I'm just like indiscriminately spraying everywhere. I wasn't paying attention, and I just sprayed myself in the face, basically. I basically maced myself with bug spray. Well, now I smell like, well, frankly, like a can of bug spray. I'm glad I didn't blind myself with the damn stuff. And the mosquito chewing has gone down to a minimum. And I'm actually, I think, almost to the top of wherever the hell I'm going. So, I'm on a big, long incline, but according to All Trails, I'm actually almost, I got probably about another mile or so, 3/4 of a mile before I'm at the top of the incline, and then I'm going to be going down. So hopefully I'm out of the jungle. As you can see, it is less thick now. I'm actually able to see the trail again. No vines are attempting to eat me. There's no like little shop of horror plants popping out and trying to bite my head off. No piranha plants, none of that. At least in this section. The last section, oh yeah, it was like Mushroom Kingdom back there. But this section's been pretty good. But even with the bug spray, I'm still apparently a mosquito buffet. So I'm gonna go make them work for their food, and I'm gonna go up the trail. But yeah, this is where I am and what I'm doing at the moment. I'm literally trying to survive. If I reach the point where I'm just trying to survive, it's a good hike. So, just like when I hiked the Boundary West Trail, which if you haven't seen me hike the Boundary West Trail, there's an entire YouTube episode of Introverted Travels in which I hike the Boundary West Trail here in Mount St. Helens National Volcanic Monument. I suggest go, you can watch the rest of this video later. Go watch that one and then come back to this one, because I'm going to sort of kind of repeat myself because it's the same explanation. Tree stumps. If you look at that hill way over there that you probably can't see on a GoPro, but that I can see really clearly because it's only like 100 yards from here. But there's just tree stumps, just old, white at this point because they're at least 40 years old. Tree stumps just lining everything. And that, of course, is where the forest was. Just like I pointed out on the other side, which is now over in that direction. All of these were trees, all the stumps that you see, that were annihilated when the volcano decided to go, oops, excuse me, and kind of, it was a volcanic fart. I mean, let's admit, that is what happens when volcanoes fart, and that also is what happens sometimes when I fart. But fortunately, the dog is still left standing in my case. But yeah, that volcanic blast did great damage to everything that was in its way at the time. Of course, this was 40 years ago, so you can see that there's quite a bit of stuff that has now regrown. But yeah, we're still seeing lots and lots of damage, lots and lots of devastation and destruction, and also, lots and lots of life returning back. Unfortunately, some of that life is human. Although, I haven't seen another person in like forever. The lake is way over there somewhere. I'm now on top of the mountain that was on the other side of the lake from the way that I came in. The lake is like, hi lake, it's like way on the other side of that little ridge over there. And I don't know how much further I'm going up, but apparently according to all trails, I'm just about done with the up part, and then I'm going to go because usually when you go up, then you have to go back down, and I'm about to go do the down part. So yeah, we got a lot going on out here. We got tree stumps from a volcanic blast that happened 40 years ago in the 1980s. We had a volcanic blast that happened in the 1980s, and also, an economic blast because Reagan was in charge and everything was destroyed at the time. We have great views. There's a lake somewhere in that direction. We got more volcanic devastation in this direction. And then we've got me. I have gone through the jungle. I have been chewed apart by all sorts of flying insects and probably some crawling ones. And now I'm just about to the part where I start going downhill and luckily start heading back towards my car. Oh, that's the best part of the hike. The part that involves me getting in my car and leaving the hike, A++. That is the best part. All trails in all its glorious wisdom labels whatever the hell this is as structure. I don't think that's a structure. I think if I were to venture a guess, is that it's some kind of tractor or something that fell over. But I may be wrong. I have no idea. All it says is structure. It doesn't give you any details. I mean, they've updated the app so there's supposed to be like these little points of interest, and it doesn't tell you anything. Structure does not tell me what the hell that thing is. I mean, I think it might be some kind of the tractor or something, but it could be something else. It's something. I mean, that's about as educational as I'm going to be able to get today. Maybe in the final edit of this video, I'll be able to research it and say, well, here's what it is. And I'll pop it up on the screen in a little infographic that nobody reads because they come up too fast. But until I can do that research. Well, there's something in the bushes. It looks rusty and it looks upside down. I mean, if I fall in the bushes, they could describe me in the same way. So I don't know what to tell you. It's according to all trails, that's the structure. According to me, that's a tractor. I don't know. It's something metal and rusty. But yeah, that's what we're finding out here. I've now reached pretty much the top of where I was going. I'm about to go down from the top of where I am. And I'm looking at flipped over tractors. I swear that's a tractor. That's got to be a tractor. I mean, what the hell else is that going to be? Well, whatever it was or is going to be in the future, it's right there. It's rusty and it's scary looking because I don't think I've had a tetanus shot in the past couple of years. So I'm going to stay away from the structure tractor and I'm headed down this way. But yeah. All Trails is just so informational. It can now be described as an educational app because it's putting little waypoints that tell you absolutely positively nothing whatsoever. I mean, I tell you more than All Trails tells you. I don't know what the hell that thing is. Rusted metal, right there. That's the most descriptive I can get. Rusted metal, big pile of rusted metal with a bunch of bushes growing into it. Actually, that's pretty much an apt description because that's exactly what it is. All right, I feel the need to point out that I started way over there. Over in that direction is my car. And we went literally along the length of the lake, right there. And the waterfall that we saw is somewhere in that general direction. And then we went around and up, and there was all sorts of like geography involved, and the trail was going and there's switchbacking, and it was really, really hard. And now I'm here. I'm up here, right here. Here I am. And we were down there, right over there. We were there like 2 hours ago. Maybe 3. Again, I'm crawling like a freaking tortoise here. But yeah, isn't this beautiful? That's the Coldwater Lake that we were hiking along. Now, apparently this side of the lake, I don't actually get to hike along the shore. I get, well, I'm up here, and it's actually, well, it's awesome up here. And look at this. You got great views. You don't have to deal with swimmers. You don't have to deal with people in the bushes. There were people in the bushes. Not here. Well, I mean, there still could be people in the bushes, but there's fewer bushes up here. And frankly, I'm getting a nice breeze. It's sunny. And I haven't seen another human being in like 2.5 hours or so. It's been a while. So I'm amazed. I have nothing to complain about. Well, not at the moment. Except that, you know, there were people at the lake, but what do I care? They're down there. I'm up here. So there you go. But yeah, Coldwater Lake, and way in the distance is my car. It's waiting for me. It's about damn time that mountain showed up. I've been waiting for it. I mean, I knew it was like right there. And in case you don't know what mountain that is, go watch the video in which I actually hiked up to the top of that damn thing. I've actually been up there twice, but that's Mount St. Helens, right in front of us. Of course, it's only part of it because there's another freaking mountain in the way. But yeah, I knew it was there. I knew it was, you know, it was looming in the distance, obviously, but I hadn't seen it until now. But there it is, right there. That's the top of Mount St. Helens. You can see the crater right somewhere around where my finger is. The crater is right in this general region right there. And then that means that the peak or the rim of the crater is right, of course, at the top there. And that's where all the happy hikers like me are at right now. They're hopping up and down going, we made it, we got to the top. Because, I mean, what the hell else are you going to do up there? You go up there, you look in the crater, you see that it's smoking, you go, oh, holy crap, it's smoking. Some people go to the true summit. I never do. I just look at the crater and go, oh, it's a crater. And then I'm like, okay, what the hell do I do now? And I turn around and go back down the volcano. I mean, that's basically the hike to the top of Mount St. Helens. But we're on the other side of Mount St. Helens today. There's the crater right there. So that's when it went, when it had its gigantic volcanic fart. The fart came in this direction, not the other side. The other side's relatively untouched. There's not a lot of issue on the other side that is a result of the volcanic explosion 40 years ago. No. That all came in this direction. So when the volcano farted, we're going to call it farting because it's just entertaining me. It came in this direction. It killed people in this direction. It knocked trees over in this direction. It did all sorts of devastation. Look, devastation from volcanic flatulence. And yeah, that's basically what happened. And so I'm on the side of all the devastation, but I hadn't seen the volcano. I mean, I saw it when I came in, but I haven't seen it for the video. So it finally has made a guest appearance in this ridiculous video. And there it is, Mount St. Helens. At least part of it. Pretty, isn't it? Well, this seems to be some kind of weird theme up here. I don't know what it is, but apparently the Forest Service or the Parks Department, whoever brought giant tractors up here at one point, they left a bunch of giant tractors. They literally, I mean, that back in the day, I'm sure that was probably thousands and thousands of dollars, and they just let, I mean, it's like half buried in volcanic sand. I don't know, maybe that was here when the giant volcano belched. I have no idea, but yeah, yet another structure. Although All Trails actually calls this one a tractor. So we got a tractor, which well, it's completely trashed, and it has flowers growing in it, and I don't know, it's probably been desecrated by hikers over the decades. But yeah, we got old farm equipment out here. We got a volcano with a giant hole blown in it. There's all sorts of excitement and adventure going on out here today. And the lake that I was hiking around, it's over there. So I started at the lake, and now I'm out here babbling about tractors and volcanoes. Yeah, it's quite the adventure today on Hiking Sunday, but it's Hiking Sunday. It's always an adventure. All right, so according to the volcanic explosion of stupidity that is All Trails, I have just a smidge over 2 miles left in this hike, and thus about 2 miles until I get back to the trailhead, and about 2 miles until I get back to my car, about 2 miles until I get into my car and do all the joyous things associated with starting my car and getting the hell out of here. So I think it's time for us to do the trail rating. We rate our trails on a scale of 1 to 10. This is an introversion scale. So a 1 is the worst possible scenario for an introvert, and that is Disneyland on the 4th of July. And that is a day in which the Walt Disney Corporation has literally just vomited over the entire Magic Kingdom. They just vomited red, white, and blue everywhere. And I mean that literally, because they're selling red, white, and blue churros. And have you ever had one of those things? Trust me, it's vomit inducing. So they've put Minnie, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, but not Pluto though, because Pluto's a dog and he'll just eat all the red, white, and blue vomit. And now it's just disgusting. I mean, let's face it, I love dogs, but dogs are kind of gross. But they've put the rest of the costumed mascots on janitorial duty, and it has pissed them off. So now Minnie, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and so forth are attacking the tourists. They're maiming the tourists. They're driving the tourists away. They're setting everything on fire. I mean, literally, the Jungle Boat Cruise on fire. Big Thunder Mountain on fire. Space Mountain on fire. Haunted Mansion, just everything that you can think of that's Disney is burning. There's people screaming, there's children screaming, and those red, white, and blue churros are literally, you have to sell a house. You have to sell a house to afford them, because that's just how the Disney Corporation rolls. And that is what I would call introvert hell. It's loud, it's obnoxious, and there's literally just puke everywhere. I mean, there's no solitude, there's no happiness, there's just red, white, and blue puke. We'll just keep focusing on the puke because that's really gross, but I find it hilarious. So yeah, red, white, and blue churro puke. But as I said, that is a 1 on our scale, and that is introvert hell. Now, in contrast, a 10 on our scale would be just you alone in the middle of a field. You're in a research station, so you have like heat and stuff like that. But in the middle of a field in Antarctica, just you and your thoughts and your harmonies and your soul and your kindness and your love, and an army of sentient, human destroying penguins that are genetically modified by the US government. We'll just toss that in there. And these penguins won't harm you because they see you as King Penguin. But if they see anybody else, oh, the waddling and the feathers will fly, my friends. The waddling and the feathers will fly. There'll be blood on the ice. and nothing else, because they'll devour the rest of the corpse. I mean, they are human-eating penguins after all. That's kind of what they do. It's in the name. But that is what I call introvert nirvana, because there's peace, there's solitude, there's love, and the only human activity you're going to hear, well, is bloody screaming as they get eaten and devoured by the penguins. Let's not go back on that. We've already discussed the human-eating penguins. But that is what I call introvert nirvana, or introvert heaven, and that is a 10 on our scale. So, on that ridiculously stupid and this week incredibly gross, because I've got kind of a headache and I'm bored. I'm just trying to waste some time until I can finally get back to my car and get the hell out of here. On that scale, I'm going to rate today's hike as about a 7. Now, as you recall, the beginning of the hike was nothing but hell. There were people here, there were people there were people everywhere. But that was only along the first few miles of the lake. And even the lake itself had moments of solitude and silence. And it wasn't terrible until I found people in the bushes. And then, yeah, I agree, that was bad. But the rest of the hike, I literally haven't seen anybody since I left the lake. I mean, I'm out here in the green, lush, windy forest, and it is people-less. So I have to play up that aspect, even though the first couple of miles of the lake are absolutely horrible. I mean, maybe I'll give it a 6. I do believe that particular part of the hike is a living human nightmare, because there's living humans in that nightmare. But the rest of the hike has allowed me to have some solitude and some peace and some Sunday sanity. So I'm gonna say this is about a 6. It's not terrible. It could be better, especially if all of humanity went extinct, or we released the penguins. We could do that too. But that brings us to our misery index, and that's a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being a complete fiction, because that would be no misery. And look at me. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if I accidentally cut myself open, I would just start bleeding misery. It's just flowing through me. And there's never a time in which I'm not miserable to one degree or another. But that scale also goes up to a 5, which is the worst possible misery you could ever experience. But unfortunately, I experience even worse misery than that, and I'm constantly breaking that scale. And today, when I was in the start of the hike and there were people everywhere, that was a 5 zillion right there. I mean, it was awful. It was terrible. It was nightmarish. But for most of this hike, I've been about my default, which is about a 2.5 to a 3. So I'm going to give this hike a 6 on the introversion scale, a 2.5 to a 3 on the misery index, and I'm tired, and I have a headache, and I think it's time to get back. But yeah, that's where we are on the scales today. That's where we are in the trail rating. That's where we are in the misery index. And this is where I am on the planet Earth. Well, according to the landslide of awfulness that is All Trails, I have about 1.5 miles back to the trailhead, and thus 1.5 miles back to my car. You know this feel by now. And I'm actually on the road at this point. I mean, this is literally the road, because it takes you to the Coldwater trailhead, and then you gotta take the road back to get to where you parked in front of Coldwater Lake itself. I don't make these maps. I don't understand who makes these maps, and I'm pretty sure All Trails doesn't even know who makes these maps. But it doesn't matter. I'm okay walking in the road. This road in particular is actually closed because apparently there is a landslide or something like way up in that general direction. That's about as helpful as I'm going to be able to be. Because this road goes up to the Johnson Observatory, which has been closed for over a year, and they literally can't seem to fix the landslide until like 2028. And I heard this before Trump came into office. Now that Trump is president again, that road's just it's never going to get fixed. That road. Well, that road is screwed, but so are the rest of us. So just practice your ducking and your covering now, because you know that orange maniac's gonna blow everything up. This is how Planet of the Apes starts. It wasn't a virus, it was Donald Trump who, okay, that is a virus, but it's a different type of virus. But Anyway, enough of that stupidity. It is time for us to say farewell. But before we can do that, let's do a quick recap. Today, I hiked around Coldwater Lake here in the Mount St. Helens Volcanic National Monument. And of course, along the way, I saw way too many damn people, but only in the beginning. In the beginning, when I was actually walking along the lake, oh, that was a little piece of hell. But once I was able to get out of that area and start going up in the mountains and then to the ridge and so on and so forth, then it was nice. I mean, I saw flowers. I saw lots and lots of vegetation. I got to see the volcano. I got to see weird tractors. I really don't know what that was about, but hey, nobody was trying to say hi to me. Nobody was saying good morning, and the tractors were just there. So I was perfectly happy. I was content in my tractor playground. Thank you very much. But alas, it is time for us to say our goodbyes. And it's also time for me, while I'm standing here on the side of it, well, it's a closed road, so there's no cars coming, but it's time for me to say, stay introverted, everyone. And of course, I'll see you in the next adventure.